Call this special call meeting of the City of Prattville Planning Commission public hearing to order. Clerk, if you call the roll, please. George, thank you.
Here.
Thank you. Of course, this meeting is to continue our public meetings on Project Prattville, and I'll call on Mr. Duke to bring us up to speed. One thing while he's getting ready, if you have comments, please come to the mic and talk into it, so we'll have those. We are recording these, and so that we can give them the proper attention. Mr. Duke?
Yes, sir. Good evening. As you're aware, we're coming to the end of a 12-month process that we've called Project Prattville, where we're updating the city's comprehensive plan. At your October 15th commission meeting, you were provided a copy of the draft plan, and at that point it was put out for public comment. It's been up during that time on the Project Prattville website. It was sent out, or notices were sent out to the approximately 275 folks that we have on our mailing list. It was placed in the newspaper, both in the legal ads and also as insertion ads. So the plan has been out there. It's been available for folks to download, to take a look out online. You are required by state code before adopting any changes to the comprehensive plan to hold a public hearing, and this session is that public hearing. As I have stated to folks that have sent comments to us, that we certainly welcome those. This process has been open the whole way through and will continue to be. We will take any comments that you receive this evening. If we can't address them here this evening with city staff or our consultants from Urban Collage and Sane Associates, we'll take those comments and kind of go through them and come up with some kind of response and publish those back out on the website. I'll be glad to answer any of your comments or any questions at this point, or we can move right into public comment. Thank you. Mr. Chair, I will point out a couple of things, and I'd like to kind of wrap these up at the end, but you've got in before you, and also you received these by email, I believe, responses to the two comments we received so far. And like I said, at the end, I'd like to go over these and make sure they end up on the public record. Thank you.
On the Prattville plan project as presented. Okay. Do you like it? Do you like it? Must be happy. Right? Do you like it or not like it? Or okay. Must do.
This might be the easiest public hearing I've ever been to, so those of you that might have a comment, you might want to think about it and come on up. But just very briefly, we received two comments, and the first was from the folks involved with the Prattville Humane Society, and really wondering about how we've addressed animal control issues and possibly the future of the Humane Society and how it's funded both by the county and the city. And really, of course, we can only address the city. During our stakeholder interviews, this subject really was not, did not come up, and it has not been addressed specifically in the plan. Talking with Dennis Madsen, we've looked at some ways that we might address that, and we probably want a little more input, possibly from the city council and from the mayor, to understand the city's goals in that regard. I've received a good bit of information from the folks from the Humane Society about where their concerns might lie. And so we're going to take a look at that and provide some kind of possible amendments or additions to the comp plan for you to consider. The other comment received by email deals with a section of West 5th Street. And basically the dividing line in that area between residential and non-residential uses. Some of you may recall that back in 2006, you addressed a rezoning request for 152, 158, 164 West 5th Street. And at that time, the commission and the city council kind of determined that there would be no further non-residential, there would be no non-residential zoning further east than the creek that splits that block. And the future land use map that's been prepared and published as part of Project Prattville shows that area being institutional. And so what we'll do is, with your permission, we'll adjust that map and make sure it reflects those decisions made back in 2006. I'll be glad to answer any questions you have about these two comments, or, like I said before, any other questions you have. Yes, sir. The process from here is to take these comments, come up with any amendments that are necessary, present those to you, allow you to have a chance to digest them, allow you as a commission to decide when you would like to bring this up on your agenda. Your next meeting is a week from Thursday, and I don't think that is sufficient time to necessarily bring this up. I mean, address these comments, bring it back before you, and allow you to adopt it. I'm suggesting that you consider your meeting in January for the plan to be brought up for adoption. That's all that's required by state law. However, your 1996 plan was also ratified, affirmed, whatever you want to call it, by the City Council, and I think that's important that you take this document and present it to the Council for them to consider. So once you adopt it, then you can take it forward to the City Council. And they can hold hearings if they want to, or they can take your record of hearings and use that for their decisions.
Okay. Any questions for Mr. Duke concerning the process forward from here?
Do we need to do this like you're talking about in January?
No, sir.
We can.
Really, with your permission, we'll just bring that up on your agenda next week for you to set that as an item on the January.
This is a hearing, not a meeting.
Yes, sir, that's correct. And Mr. Chair, I would be interested if there are folks that would like to speak in support of the project. Maybe we could get those on the record. If they don't have any comments that they specifically want to see addressed, if there are folks that would like to support this plan, I think that would be helpful. And take advantage of these folks who have braved the elements to come out tonight and get some of them on the record.
Okay. Everyone heard Mr. Duke's comment and request. If you support this plan and would like to publicly state so, we would like to have that on the record and offer that opportunity right now.
It's 2 weeks till Christmas. Now, y'all either need to be shopping or what? You support it, you like it, you don't like it. Give us some feedback. You couldn't hear who was Mr. Duke? Joel?
Well, supposedly the sound system's on, but we'll supplement it. How's that? Just to make sure high-priced sound system. I wanted to talk about both of the comments we received. The first one was dealing with the Fifth Street issue and the fact that it was laid out on the future land use map, showing that as institutional when there are previous agreements through past rezonings to keep that set as residential and business separated by the creek that runs mid-block, and that correction will be made. The other item that was discussed was talking about the Humane Society and trying to address their concerns. And then, Mr. Chair, just make sure we go over it again. This is your public hearing as required by law, and you could adopt this at your next meeting, which is a week from Thursday. I'm recommending that you consider it at your meeting in January, allowing us enough time to take these comments and come up with solutions or answers to their questions. And any of these responses will be posted on the web. So.
Thank you, Mr. Duke. And we'll take any comments. If you like it, we'll take those. Be happy to have those. Yes, ma'am. Miss, yeah, come up here, please, Ann. I know, but that's all right. You're in good company. You're in good company here. You're in good company here.
I'm Ann Bowell, and I, like most of the people here, have had the opportunity to participate in this Project Prattville process. And I just wanted to say that I appreciate the efforts that Joel and the officials that directed it,
Consultant.
that they gave all of us an opportunity to have input. They made great effort to contact us, to notify us of meetings, and we had great attendance at most of the meetings.
That's good.
It was good. And so while the whole project is massive in scale, it's difficult for probably most of these people to pick out a certain area that they are maybe like or dislike. But some of the areas, the plans are fantastic, and they're broad, and they're maybe way out there, but when we dream, we need to dream big. And I just want to thank the city and Joel and the people involved with this process. Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Boutwell. Any others? Mr. Bradford, yes, sir. Please come up here.
I'm a little fuzzy on the location of this. 5th Street west of where of the.
Mr. Duke, would you address, please?
Some institutions already own some land bordering 5th Street.
Right. We're talking about areas west of Chestnut. So.
Okay. There may be some, but I doubt it. I don't know.
In fact, I'm going to get the map, make sure everybody's clear on that location.
Okay. All right.
And I apologize for. Basically, we have a small area here. Commissioners have probably seen this if they've had a chance to look at email. There's a small area here that is east of the creek that runs mid-block. And by previous zoning agreement, the council and the commission have recommended that zoning other than residential stop at the creek. That only areas west of the creek be allowed to do something other than residential. So our map basically did not take that into account, and what we would do is change the map to reflect those zoning decisions.
Mr. Chairman.
And I think what you're concerned about is areas to the east of Chestnut.
East of Chestnut.
And that's all shown as
Right.
residential as it is today.
Yeah, Mayor Byard.
Excuse me, Joel, we're basically talking about the rezoning that was before us several, I don't know when it was.
Years ago.
2006.
Petitioner,
3
I
years
do
ago.
know, and he had 3 homes or 2 or 3 lots or something they were going to build as offices or something that the commission denied, and then the council further denied. Am I correct on that?
Well, what happened was, I'm sorry. What happened was that it was a good bit of discussion. It was rezoned to office. It was requested at a business zoning,
Okay.
one of the B zonings. I can't remember if it was B1 or B2, Mayor. I apologize. But it was settled out as a recommendation from this commission as 01.
Okay.
And there was a great deal of discussion at that point. How far would that zoning eventually travel down Fifth Street back to the east? You know, would those rezonings cause a domino effect of where residential properties would just change over?
Right.
And so the creek was really chosen as a dividing line, and that, if you recall, on the west side of the creek is the driver's license office,
Right.
and these 3 01 properties, and to the east of that are properties that are still healthy residential.
So but we ended it at the creek.
Yes,
that was
sir,
our.
that's correct.
Okay. Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you. Mr. Bradford, you,
I'm just glad we cleared this up for the mayor.
okay. Do we have any other comments? Yes, sir, please come forward.
Good day. My name is DeVore Jones. What I would like to see is there be more sidewalks in Prattville, particularly when you come down Main Street and you get to 31. I'd love to see sidewalks from 31 all the way down to Interstate 65 and all the way, out to East Prattville. For those of us who like to walk and for those of us who are pedestrians, it would make that little walk a little bit easier. I'd also, it would be nice to have sidewalks run down Doster Road, where the stadium is, all the way out to 31, and then from 31 back up into town, back down 31 down up into town, and also to the right of 31 there and up toward the road that runs in front of the golf course, to see sidewalks there for people that are walking and riding bikes and so on and so forth. It would make that a lot easier, as well as even to have even more lighting along Doster Road as you at night when you're coming down Doster and you're walking and that kind of thing. To have sidewalks there and lighting would be good. And then lastly, when they were going through this process in Montgomery, I happened to be able to take part in those plans as well, in addition to the plans that are taking place here in Prattville. And they call it Envision 2020. Envision what 2020 would be like if we do this. And many of those plans have come to fruition now, and it's why downtown Montgomery looks so much different than it did before they started the process of Envision 2020. But the experts that worked with them on that, when they initially got started, they said that 40 years ago, Montgomery and Atlanta were the exact same size. And that the only difference between Atlanta 40 years ago was that Atlanta embraced diversity and saw diversity as a positive thing. And as a result, Atlanta embraced diversity, Montgomery did not. And as a result, Atlanta grew leaps and bounds over Montgomery, and 40 years later, Montgomery was looking back trying to say try to figure out what did they do that we didn't do. That 40 years later, they just grew leaps and bounds over the city of Montgomery. I hope that the city of Prattville will do the same thing and embrace diversity and allow the city to grow. And thank you.
Good deal. Thank you, Mr. Jones. Any other comments? Hearing none, I consider this public hearing closed. We're adjourned. Thank you.